Hello, it's Jimmy here at O'Reilly's. We have here a Audi A6. This is an Avant model, which is a estate. Not that it makes any difference, but let's get inside. Right, now the strange thing with this car is it doesn't give you an engine light. But what happens is that DPF symbol stays on permanently on every drive. See that little symbol up there? It comes up because the door's open. Let me shut that door. Is that door open? Same one, or the doors are open. Alright, we've got the bonnet open. Right. Problem is he's had someone come out and attempt to clean the DPF. The light still stays on. He's had it to another DPF cleaner who said he's cleaned the DPF and replaced the DPF pressure sensor. Just noticed on the camera I've injured myself on the last video there, and the last repair. Right, so he's had a few different people attempt to clean the DPF. It's been to an Audi specialist who tried to clean the DPF, and when the customer drove away, the light was back on, so we went back. Then he said he's done some extra work and he's sorted it out. Now the problem is he doesn't get the engine light on, but the DPF light is still there. No engine light, no fault codes, and what happens is if he puts his foot down, I've seen these symptoms exactly on my video 2 months ago. A lot of people are trying to do what I'm doing on the videos and they're not doing it correctly. I've had a lot of people comment on my last video saying, we know how to do the software fix that you're doing, it's simple, it's this. Delete your EGRs, delete the DTC, do this and this. Doing stuff like that, just in those parameters, will not allow the DPF to regenerate. Some people say it will, but why am I seeing customers come here every day who's had somebody? The customer is saying he hasn't had anyone remap it, but I think it has been remapped, because he's not getting an engine light on, but when he puts his foot down, the car goes in limp mode and you get the flashing glow plug symbol. We had one exactly like this before, and what it was I reflashed it, and when we took it on a test drive we were getting codes come up, which is P200200 block DPF and a P200200 turbo underboost, because the DPF pressure was so high. If you've got DPF pressure at idle on these over 40, it will cause limp mode. It will cause turbo underboost. The pressure is too high, they don't like it. That doesn't happen on every car with that sort of. Normally you'd need a much higher pressure than that to cause underboost, but on these I know 100% for a fact that causes that issue. So I've had a little quick look over it and I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. Okay, so we have 43 HPA pressure, so a very, very block DPF, 2000 RPM, 180 to 160, 23 grams of soot. Let's hold the revs up a little bit, see if that increases or moves. Yeah, it's increasing, and it's increasing quickly. So next step now is we'll go back. Now, even though this car is going into limp mode, it's losing power, we have no DTCs. What does that say to me? Someone's trying to mask the problem. So, will I flash it back so I can prove my point? Back to original software, take it on a test drive, and we should then get P200200 and P200200. Let's do that, I think. Alright, so I'm going to try and show you something quickly here as well. If I turn the ignition back on, there we go. Give it a few seconds and we get particulate filter fault. That comes up here. Even though, like I said, we have no fault codes. Refill AdBlue. There we go, particulate filter fault. See owner's manual. But no fault code. A lot of dodgy remappers around. Right, we've got my friends in right places, Baz Meredith. He's given me a little walkthrough. I've not done the online programming with the X43 Euro before, so I'm going to give it a go. Obviously we do it, I've got the tuning equipment, but I've not done it with the launch tablet before, so Baz has just given me a quick walkthrough how he does it. It's knowing the right people. Say hello, Baz.
How are we doing? You all okay?
Right, we've downloaded the latest software for it. Right, so I've updated the software back to stock. We're going to take this car on a test drive now, and we should get some fault codes pop up. Alright, so a quick bit of a test drive. I can see the vehicle is regenerating. Soot grams are coming down, pressure's coming down. You can see the last time it's had a successful regeneration, 3,887 kilometers ago. So whoever's done the software on this, software manipulation, has done it incorrectly. So instead of fixing his P2002 fault code, he's now given a fault code that you would get for that as a P2458-00, and obviously it's getting P0299 turbo underboost. We haven't got that fault up just yet, I don't think, but I've not read the codes yet. We're just taking it on a test drive with the live data on. So once I've finished this test drive, that 3,887 kilometers since a successful regen, that should now reset to 0, because it's gonna do a regen while I'm driving here, and then once that's finished, it should say it's done a successful regen, 5 kilometers ago or 2 kilometers ago, whatever. Let's finish this test drive and I'll get back to you. Okay, so we're just finishing the test drive. We can see there it's done regen 6 kilometers ago. Alright, now that that's done, we have 12 millibars pressure, so it's still a little bit higher than I'd like it. Let's give it a clean. I'll give it a clean and add my software to it so it is able to regen in the future, and hopefully we can get the pressure down. And of course the main issue is that the car is going to regenerate in the future. It's not just going to continue to block up and block up and block up, and it's not able to regenerate. Every sort of, let's say 500 kilometers, the DPF should reach regeneration phase, which is like getting up to 650 degrees, and then your soot and your pressure will burn off and drop down. That's not been happening on this car, so let's get that correct. Okay, so I've used my auto tuner here to upload a new file to that, and that will adjust the tolerances of the DPF so it doesn't give you the P200200 fault code. Right, now we're back in the vehicle here. New software is uploaded. Let's just click off the bonnet error. So the DPF symbol has gone. Now, I don't need to do this, but I can maybe, to show you that my software works, I can maybe manipulate a few things on the car, which is if I trick the pressure sensor to thinking the pressure's high, the soot grams will jump up. And then we can do another test drive and I can show you that it has regened while this software is on the car. So I haven't spoke about the software in this video, but I spoke about it in my previous videos. I've spent many months, even years, testing stuff on these cars and cleaning the DPFs, and also trying to find a resolution for the repetitive fault of P200200 that comes up on these cars. Even though they've had a new DPF, a new EGR cooler, the fault can be repetitive. The only way that we've found, I mean, we've had customers come to Audi or Audi, however one way you want to pronounce it. I've always pronounced it Audi. In England, everyone pronounces it Audi. So anyway, I've had customers go to the dealer, they've had the new parts fitted, and in a few months it happens again, and then they're getting quoted another $4.5 grand to fix it again, but it's already been fixed 3 months ago, and it all gets blamed to the driving style. So if we adjust the tolerances, it helps the car work properly how it should. So the next step is for me to get the cleaning fluid in, and it will just go in here, connected to the gun, 130 psi into the van. We're just going to squeeze that in. So we had, I think it was a 12 or 14, 15, in around that range now of pressure. So we're going to see if we can get that down a little bit lower by cleaning the whole system out. Okay, so what I can do here is attach a vacuum gauge, put pressure on that, onto that sensor, which will trick the ECU thinking that the DPF is blocked, and we'll get our diagnostic set up. Okay, so by tricking the DPF, saying that we've got like 900 millibars of pressure in there, we will see the soot grams shoot up. What I'll do is I'll get that up to 25 grams, then I'll disconnect that. When we take it out on a drive, we should again get the vehicle to do a regen. So currently it's at 7 kilometers. If I can get that to change to kilometers, not meters. 7 kilometers, and we should see the temperature reach above 600 degrees, and then after the regen's finished, this again should reset to 0, or Maybe by the time I get to record it could be 1 or 2 kilometers or whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. So we're gonna wait till this hits 25 grams. All I'm doing, this is not part of the job I'm doing. This is just to show you, for the viewers basically, that for one, we can increase the soot by putting pressure in there, and if we get the soot up to 25 grams, the car will be able to do a regen when I do a test drive. See, without me doing this bit of a trickery here, there's no way to verify the car can do a regen with the software on it, and the only way to do that is to let the customer drive for 500 miles and see if it's done a regen in that time, but we want to verify it here and now on the spot. Okay, 25 grams we have. Okay, so in the car, back to go for a test drive. We have already 8 millibars, so we have seen a decrease in the temperature. We haven't even gave it any revs yet or taken it for a drive, so we should hopefully see that decrease even more. You can see there, 700 degrees, 600 degrees. So it looks like we're coming back down now. Okay, so just pulled over here for a sec. Oh, hang on a minute. Engine's gone off. Start. Start up. Oh, we're in drive. Automatic stop start. Turn that off. Right, let's have a look back where we were. We have 6 millibars pressure. Grams of soot are down to 3.6. You see it's just done a regeneration 0.1 kilometers ago. Right, so pressure's come down to a healthy number. Let's hold it up to 2.5 RPM. 20. A lot better than when it had arrived. Alright, so just having a look at the numbers on here. I'll have to go back and look at some of my older videos, but this one just doesn't seem right to me. 75 degrees, temperature sensor 1. Surely it's more than 75 degrees down there, you know? And when you accelerate it, it goes even lower. Well, it's fluctuating. See, this is 275, that's 171. I'd expect to see that at least 150 degrees, 120 degrees with the engine running. But the pressure is coming down even better now. We've got 18 millibars. If I can change it, well, it's 18 millibars. Idle, we just did have 5 there, yep. Right, so it's all good. Right, no fault codes now available. I do realise that when I said I was going to do the test drive earlier, I was looking for fault codes that were going to pop up. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to do that because when I put the stock file back onto the car, instead of it giving me a fault code for a block DPF, it just automatically started doing a regen. So it got rid of the soot, which was causing the blockage, and it also got rid of the pressure, which would have been causing the turbo underboost. So basically, by flashing it back to stock, it's sorted itself out basically in that sense. But the main issue here with this car is P200200. Obviously, somebody's tried to resolve that by deleting fault codes and doing remapping. It's like basically DPF off, but they've tried not to do the DPF off. Or a DPF delete. They've tried to manipulate the software to get rid of the faults, but the DPF still worked. But obviously, clearly, it didn't. Now, I know a lot of people are trying to copy the video that I've done, but this software that I'm using is not available anywhere. I'm the only person at the moment who can get this software to be able to get the car to work and not give you the P200 code, which is opening the parameters basically and letting the car assume that everything's okay, because the EGR cooler is the main issue with these cars, as you know. But problem I'm having now is everyone wants to copy me, and there's an old saying, what is it, you can duplicate but not replicate. That's what someone's tried to do. They've tried to duplicate what I've done here, I think, and done it incorrectly. Anyway, so the car is now fixed and we will move on from here. Right, so that's it, all finished on the Audi A6. See you in the next video.